Hey, Facebook friends and family. It's Dr. Alicia Main. It's a little bit of a stormy night outside, so I kind of wanted to do a live here and just share with you guys some things that I've become aware of in the past few months about the changes that are happening in the veterinary field and our access to veterinarians. So I recently had to do a Coggins test on my horses, and I contacted a couple vets that were close, and I found out like one of them won't do the Coggins test because he's got new liability issues, and I have Mustangs, so he could potentially get hurt. Another vet is no longer servicing large animals. Another vet was just too busy in her practice to make it over. And so I found one veterinary clinic that they're absolutely fantastic. So I'm super, super excited about that. But, I've heard from a lot of my clients lately that they cannot believe how long it's taking to be able to get into the vet to see, for them to see their animals if their animals don't feel well. And so what prompted this live was to really share, there's two distinct paths that I've really started to understand in terms of animal health over the last 27 years as an interspecies animal communicator, and also as a holistic dog trainer, and also as a distance body alignment expert. Now, we have our physical system, and the physical system can absolutely go out of whack, take on a bacteria, a virus, a fungus, a parasite that could really upset the body, or pathogen. And that is what Western medicine is excellent at. They're excellent at taking blood work, at doing diagnostics, and, figuring out in emergency situations what is going on with our animals. But the other track that I'm aware of is more of an Eastern-based medicine, where the body is basically energy flowing through a contained system. And we have physical, we have vertebrae, we have bones, joints, tendons, ligaments, cranial plates, all kinds of things physically taking place in the structure. But if anything is out in the physical structure, it will actually affect the way the energy flows. So oftentimes I have dog training clients that come to me because their animal was great, and all of a sudden, over the last couple weeks or last couple months, their animal's been starting to get a little bit more aggressive. And oftentimes I will ask the question, did they have an accident? Did they bang into anything? Did they jump out of the car funny? Did they miss jumping on the bed? And they will oftentimes remember, oh my God, yeah, they were playing at the park and two dogs collided. Now, nothing might show up in terms of lameness, but if there was a compression in that animal's body that is throwing any of their vertebrae out of alignment or creating unrecognized pain, that could be slowing down the flow of energy in their body. And so what happens at that point is it's just a matter of time what the animal can tolerate, and if that energy starts to build up more intensely, because if there's a misalignment, it's going to create an energy blockage a lot of times, then the animal eventually is going to start to feel kind of cranky. Imagine if you were doing something, playing sports, or you were skiing and you fell, but you didn't necessarily hurt yourself, but you did knock something out of alignment. After a while, your energy flow is going to back up. Now, here's a distinction that I've also learned about. And I started practicing Qigong with Grandmaster Anan Lu about 31 years ago in my early 20s. And it was such a revelation because as a fitness trainer at that time, I had learned so many things about the Western perspective. Now I started learning about the Eastern perspective and the energy flows. And so what he had shared was that when energy backs up after a while, it can start to create backups in the organ system. And so sometimes you will start not feeling well, but if you went to the doctor, you might not see it yet on a blood test. Like, have you ever taken one of your animals, they weren't feeling well, you went to the doctor, you got a blood test, and the doctors were like, well, we don't really know what it is because nothing's showing up on the blood test, so we have to do more tests. And rightly so, right? You want to understand the root of your animal's behavior or their health issue and why they're feeling the way they're feeling. This is why I want to share with you these two distinctions, because sometimes if your body is misaligned, you could not feel well, but it won't show up on a blood test because it hasn't literally like kind of penetrated your physical system where it's now become a physical problem. It's in your alignment and it's in your energy field. And so Grandmaster Lou always used to tell us, if you are not feeling well and it's still in your energy body, because if you fix your structural alignment, you can change the energy flow and you can feel better pretty quickly, then you're lucky because it hasn't driven itself deeper in your system. And one of the things that I find that we are, well, at least Western medicine is a little reticent to help us recognize is a lot of things that go on with us. Like the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So a lot of things that go on with us, we have bangs, we have dings, we're like, oh, okay, I don't really need to go to the doctor, but I'll be fine. But those bangs and dings, especially in our animals, it doesn't matter if it's a horse, a dog, a cat, a bird, a fish, they create compressions in our fascia tissue. And I work a lot with the fascia tissue. I work at long distances helping animals rebalance their structure by releasing tightnesses in their fascia tissue. And I also teach this to my students. And the reason why I have found it is so important, and I've gone, the gamut with like Western dog training, choking a dog, prong collar. I didn't know better at the time. And then when I learned better, I did better. I developed a harness and leash training system for animals that I used for 12 years to help animals walk on leash and actually honor their physical structures. But what I didn't fully put together until I started doing body assessments on the animals was how much body misalignment or compression in fascia tissue can be at the root of an animal's health or behavior issues. And especially if you have taken your animal to the vet and nothing is showing up, but you know something's still not right, and you have this gut feeling that you're like, man, I can't put my finger on it, and I'm glad that the blood test came back normal, but something's still up, then I want to invite you to actually join me for a 7-week training that I'm doing that started last week, but you still have time to jump in before this Tuesday. It's the In-Sync Body Assessment and Muscle Release Technique, which I think I'm going to be renaming the In-Sync Body Assessment and Fascia Release Technique, because I started to realize, working with thousands of animals all around the world and transforming behavior and health issues via Zoom, without ever touching these animals, I started to really realize how important the fascia tissue and any compressions in it are to creating behavior or health issues. And when released, our animals' behaviors and their health can change almost instantly. And I've seen such incredible results with it. I want to teach it to my animal parents, because if for any reason you cannot get into the vet right away. If for any reason you have an emergency appointment with the vet, but the vet can't get there for a few hours, or even if you want to go on the preventative side, like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, I teach you my step-by-step process for understanding spots to touch on your animal's body that are so simple. It's a totally repeatable process. You can learn these skills over the course of these 7 weeks, and you will have them forever. And it could transform your, it will address oftentimes the root of your animal's behavior or health issue, because when we do not recognize that they are in pain or they are out of alignment somewhere, the energy is still building up inside. And so I will teach you through this training, step by step, what points to touch on your animal's body that will help release the backed up tension or the compression in the tissue that will have your animal feeling and behaving better really quickly. I mean, often in minutes is how quickly we see transformations. And through this training, I teach you how to do this hands-on with your dog or your cat. And then I also teach you how to do this work off body. I have clients that the furthest away that I have worked is 9,000 miles away from Colorado to New Zealand. And we have literally seen major changes through the session. And so I also did a PhD where I was looking at what can be shifted in body misalignment through the energy field using Qigong. And the results were astounding. I mean, I worked on horses. It was all wild Mustangs. It was formerly wild Mustangs. There were 27 of them. And every single one of them experienced a behavior shift. And I was anywhere from 100 to 2,000 miles away working via Zoom. They never saw me. I never touched them. They had no idea what I was doing. And every single one of them had significant behavior changes without any training. So if you are concerned about what's taking place and, you know, there might potentially be limited access to quality veterinarians, I highly recommend you take this training. It is simple, it is easy, it is totally transformative for your animals, but it's also transformative for you because you are going to be awakening your inner healer and coming back into alignment with the capacities and the capabilities that you have to understand the body very, very simply and to touch your animal on certain spots that will make a major difference in their behavior and in their health, and also transform your understanding of your power and your capacity as a natural healer. So if this is of interest to you, I've got one spot open. We start our second class on Tuesday, August 13th, and you are welcome to join. As a matter of fact, I'd love it if you join, because the more pet parents that understand this information and really how simple it is to help rebalance our animals' health and to provide them with high quality well-being. And I know we all think it's the food and it's the supplements, but it's actually the body alignment, because that body alignment, when your animal's body is released from tightness or tension, they breathe better. I don't know if you know about, breath, but everything actually goes better with breathing. So I teach you how to align your breathing and relax yourself, but I also teach you really simple, highly potent places to touch your animal's body that will make a major change. And especially if you cannot get to the vet right away, you will develop the confidence and the groundedness to know that you can help support your animal at any time, under any conditions, remain calm, and help them stay healthy. So I hope you'll join me. There is a link below in the comments. Feel free to also connect with me if you'd like to have a conversation. I'm happy to talk with you. And I really look forward to seeing you in class. And if this isn't for you right now, but you have friends or other, colleagues, family members that you know that this would benefit them and their animals to have this training, please feel free to refer them to it. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and wishing you and your animals excellent, excellent health and well-being.